was built with the goal of simplifying the process of connectivity for the customer and establishing a long-term relationship of trust through transparency and accountability. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. You can call Mark and the gang at 615-349-8588, or you can visit their website at abscomm.net. And remember, mention the McFarland Show to ABS, and you could get up to $250 in a Visa gift card for new ABS business customers.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Everybody stay calm. Stay calm!
Let's take some calls from the public, shall we?
Join the afternoon stretch now on the Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. Now here's Bruno and Zach.
4 o'clock here in the Music City, so you know what time it is. Time for the afternoon stretch here on Nashville Sports Radio. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams. So glad to be with you inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. If you want to get involved, we want to hear from you. 615-844-5600. The hotline wide open for you today. Here till 6 o'clock till we get to 6:30. And then we send it over some Grizzly basketball tonight. Bruno Reagan on this Tuesday, but it's really like Thursday if you think about it. But it's Tuesday. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling mighty dubious right now. What does that mean, dubious?
Dubious, like you're feeling very like steadfast, like you're like ready to do some work.
No, that's not a good one.
I think that's what that means.
I don't like that one. All right, I'm feeling pretty despicable right now.
Oh yeah. Okay, you're feeling naughty.
yeah.
You're feeling like being the naughty voice on Nashville Sports Airwaves.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm kind of like the bad boy.
You're the bad boy of Nashville Sports
Radio. I don't
Radio?
care about anything.
Dude, you don't care about anything. That's the crazy part.
It's a problem. I need to see professional help.
I really should care about some things, like oxygen.
Quality time with my loved ones.
No, you don't care about that.
Of which there are no one.
Why is there no one? Why would there be no one that loves him? Devlin McKenzie, speaking of nobody loves you, you're wearing all Browns gear today.
Yep.
Why?
Pride.
Celebrating. No, he's celebrating. He's like, oh my gosh, Deshaun Watson's coming back.
I got a shower, and I was like, that shirt looks like it would fit, and then I went to work.
And the shirt did fit.
Yep.
Yeah. That's big stuff, man.
Simple as that. Yep.
What were you going to say? You were about to say something, Bruno? You're making fun of Cleveland, please?
No, I know. I mean,
just make more, like they're the worst.
Well, I was going to make fun of myself because that's how I get dressed also, but half of this stuff doesn't fit, so sometimes you run into issues.
Yeah. No, not good. Not good. If you want to jump in, we want to talk to you. Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. We want to get involved with you today. Once again, until 6 o'clock. We got a good show today. We're going to have Aria Gerson jump on 425.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves now.
No, it's a good show. It's a great show. It's a great show. I'm gonna get so far ahead of myself. This might be the best show that we ever have.
We're combining
on
our Tuesday Alex Daughtery hit with our Wednesday Aria Gerson hit and our Thursday week picks.
Yes. Perfectly smized.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Why would there be holidays, but they expect you to work on them? Riddle me this. Why would they have a holiday during the week and expect us to take it serious?
I don't know. It does feel. I feel like the world is just kind of moving in that right now. Yeah.
There has never been a least productive time.
This
our day and age.
Yeah, like this three days, and then the week that's like Christmas to
the holidays
to New Year's
spanned like the midway point of November to the first week of January. That's the quote unquote holidays where there's just nothing matters. Except for professional sports.
Well, I mean, I think you could still get stuff done like in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, but the Christmas between New Year's, that week, pack it in. That week is nobody really does anything. If they're at a job, if you're in your cubicle or if you're in your office, you know damn well you're not doing anything in that time frame. And these 3 days, this 3 days before Thanksgiving, you're either not there, you're lying, saying you're there, or you might be there physically, but you're not there mentally.
I was thinking of ways to call out for tomorrow, but still do the show on Discord because I respect you guys very much. But I was trying to think of ways to like finagle my way out of doing.
Can
the
you
show
imagine
tomorrow.
anybody that would call out tomorrow on the show? I mean, can you imagine not
Yeah,
doing
me.
the show tomorrow in any way?
Me? Yeah.
No,
I
no,
could.
no, 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 no. No, you're not like that. I don't know anybody that would do that. I really don't.
Me either. That's crazy.
Yeah, you're crazy. I don't know. Actually, you're right. Who could do such a thing? That's crazy.
I mean, you talk about being the naughty voice of Nashville sports radio. That would be that person, whoever that is.
Yeah.
They would be very deceitful.
Yeah, I definitely haven't slashed my own tires, so I didn't have to come here. Yeah.
Did
you consider that for half a second? That
No.
I did that? Oh, come on.
No, because you know how stupid that would be? That'd be stupid.
I've done some things.
You're not that stupid. You went to Vandy.
I've done some things.
You've done some things, but that one is that'd be extra stupid.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm not stupid.
I don't think you are. That's what I'm saying. Because you didn't do that. But if you did do that, real dumb. You came in the next day and complained how much you had to fix your tire, about how much it cost.
Yeah, because I've done it like 7 times in the past 2 to 3 years. It's absurd.
This is the worst time too, by the way. This is the worst time right now. Devlin, you're new to Tennessee roadways. This time, starting from now till like March-ish, is the worst time to drive around on Tennessee roads. Because what happens is we'll start getting some ice or snow worries. They'll salt the road like crazy. Never does enough. It doesn't snow. It rains. The salt then goes into the concrete, makes it swell up, and then it cracks all over the place, and you just start catching pothole after pothole after pothole forever. And they never fix them.
I'll figure out this year whether Ohio streets are worse than Nashville streets in the winter, but either way, I've never had to deal with Nashville traffic in that type of scenario. So it's no matter what, it's going to be awful.
Nashville traffic's terrible. How do you like that?
And it's terrible.
There is
It's awful.
no like snow weather here though. We're gonna get. I guarantee we'll get snowed, quote unquote, snowed out for a day. But we could drive here. Like, let's be honest, right?
2 years ago or a year ago? No, there was that one day. Like, it's not consistent, but there's always that 1, 2, or 3 days that will be. It'll just be like all of it will melt, and then it'll turn into just sheets of ice, and then the big snow happens, and you just can't drive. There was one day I remember it was back when I was a producer here. There was not a shot I could even get out of my driveway, let alone get on the roads, and it was just ice and the cars aren't made for it. Most of the cars here aren't made for it.
I just remember I had the Middle Tennessee Dream Team my senior year, which is like a little wrestling banquet they do. I don't even know who organizes it, but they give out awards and stuff like that. And I was the wrestler of the year, and it snowed the day before, but it had all melted. And they called me. They were like, "Where are you?" I was like, "There's just too much snow outside my house right now." But the meeting was in Nashville, so they just couldn't verify it. But that was one way I got out of doing something.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's just so much snow.
I'm just saying, I think a lot of people in Tennessee are like, well, we can't do anything. And there's like an inch, you know?
I feel like you like that, though.
No, because people go to the Walmart and they're like taking it serious. And that, like, the point.
You gotta get bread and milk.
No, the point is, like, we all look at each other, we're like, this is bad. And we get off work and we go, like, we go to the pitch and play some football, eh? You know, that's the point. Not, oh my God, we're off work. Everyone is going to die. Everyone you know and love will freeze to death if you don't get the milk. And it's not a joke. It happens in Clarksville. I don't know what it is about. Clarksville collectively has an IQ of 20 lower than any city in Tennessee.
I agree with
100%.
Yes. That's a fact.
100%. No, I agree too.
That's scientifically studied, I'm pretty sure, somewhere.
No, it is, because Clarksville is the host of Fort Campbell, which is an army town. They all have to take that ASVAB. So we very clearly know Clarksville is not the best people. I say this as a Clarksville native, and I love it. And that's why I thrive in that environment.
Yeah. No. 615-844-5600 if you want to jump in. We want to talk to you. Tonight, college football playoff rankings come out. Tennessee, not going to be in the top 4. That's for sure.
Still think they're in top 10? Probably.
I think they sneaked top 10, yeah. I mean, that loss was bad enough for them to be top 15.
That loss was bad enough for them to be the best chance analytically for Vanderbilt to get an SEC win all season. Is that not insane?
Yeah.
More than Mizzou, more than South Carolina. Ari Gerson always shares those advanced analytics things. Vanderbilt has the best shot, I think, all season is SEC game is beating Tennessee.
It's so wild. It's so wild to talk about. But looking at it from the rankings that we had previous weeks, obviously Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. Tennessee at 5. They're going to drop LSU at 6, USC at 7, Alabama at 8, 9 Clemson. Number 10 would be Utah. Out of those 10 that we just mentioned, what's the changes that we think?
I was just thinking more in the top 4, and I was thinking we need to put Michigan at 2 and Ohio State at 3. That's what I was thinking. Unironically, when you were explaining that whole list, that's what I was thinking. I think Michigan's going to dog walk Ohio State, so let's just get ahead and put them ahead of them.
I don't really think there's going to be any change at all. I mean, what were the major upsets for the top 10? I mean, the top 6 is solidified. That's not going to move.
Well, Tennessee's going to move.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's the major one.
There's a reason they call it Survivor Sunday. It's not about style points; just win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're going to be they're going to be the biggest tragedy out of all of it. Who at this point? I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I think that was when Tony called in. If anybody, can anybody crack the top 4 from here on out?
USC. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, wait, USC.
USC?
Right? Yeah, because if they beat Notre Dame, they're in. I mean, they're going to win the Pac-12, I imagine, if they beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
There's no Pac-12 championship game, is there? There is, right?
Mm-hmm.
They still got to win that, too.
Yeah.
Can't lose that and not get in as a 2-loss team.
They don't have divisions, correct? So it would be USC, Oregon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Most football player rankings are just, we just know how it's going to turn out. So discussing them at this point is a little interesting because at the end of the day, it's going to be Georgia, one of the Big Ten teams, and most likely TCU.
Does it feel like Ohio State? And I want Devlin to answer. It doesn't. Kind of feels like Ohio State is slipping their grasp a little bit.
Yeah. Ohio State plays to their competition, and they've been doing it every single week, and it's extremely annoying to watch. I mean, last week, that game was terrible. I haven't felt not stressed during an Ohio State game since maybe Iowa. And even in that game, I was stressed out. We won 54-3. I mean, they just didn't play well. They're just not playing well right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the play calling. Either way, this Ohio State-Michigan game is going to be close. It always is. It's always a great game. Do I think Ohio State can pull this off? Yeah. Do I think Michigan can pull this off? Of course I do. But at the end of the day, I'm more confident in C.J. Stroud and our offense than I am in Michigan's offense.
Well, and the fact that you're at home.
Sure. Yeah, that definitely helps.
I mean, I think that's the biggest part of all of it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, last year, I won't even say last year. Michigan wins that game last year 9 times out of 10 at home. They win it 5 times out of 10 in Ohio State, and they win it 7 times out of 10 on neutral ground.
Tell me if I'm tripping here, but I want to talk about the vibe real quick. The vibe of the game has felt like a ticking time bomb for the past 8 years. Am I crazy for saying this? Like, it feels like tensions just get higher every single year. Like, it's not a joke. Like, I feel like one day there's going to be an all-out brawl. You know how teams brawl? I've been in one, the Florida Vandy. Like, we had a little skirmish. I just feel like one day the game is going to have an unironic player, stadium, uncontrollable brawl, and it'll go down the history books. Am I crazy for thinking that?
No, I mean, one day it's good. It's.
I feel like every year it gets a little bit worse.
Yeah, well, I can't. Look, it feels like it's the only rivalry left.
It really is. No, there are a lot of rivalries that simply don't matter.
You know, especially the NFL doesn't have it anymore. I can't even think of a real rivalry right now in the NFL.
AFC North used to have some fun ones, but no one cares about that.
Bengals and Pittsburgh, it doesn't. Yeah, that was like it. That was it for the longest time. And then you go to in baseball, Red Sox and Yankees. That one feels like that's kind of dwindled off a little bit as well.
Army Navy is like a good one.
Army Navy, but that doesn't feel like a rivalry in a sense of like hatred. That's like there's too much respect between all of those soldiers, you know, that it ever comes out to be any kind of angst. But Ohio State and Michigan, that one is the only one in my. I mean, tennis, the Iron Bowl
for all
maybe a little bit.
Yeah, for all I preach about like anti-violence and stuff like that, like the threat of it being there makes me excited. I don't know. It's just like it's real. You can't fake it. It's real emotion.
Yeah, no. It's I've watched a lot of Ohio State fans last year cry, like physical tears after losing. And I was like, hey, didn't y'all just win it like 25 years in a row? And they were like, yeah, but we didn't win this one. It's like, okay, this feels a twinge personal for no reason now.
As someone who's obviously grown up in Ohio, I've been to Columbus for this game. I've been inside of this game in the stadium. I mean, it's so far beyond personal. You see fights. I mean, if you see a Michigan fan on the street, you don't say anything positive to him. You're going to speak to him. It's not going to be good.
Have you been in a fight there?
In Columbus?
Yeah.
I have. Yeah.
Oh, Devlin.
Yeah.
Devlin getting down.
It was like 10 versus 8. It was nothing. It was.
It's like the Sharks versus the Jets,
Yeah,
huh?
I mean, it was,
Man, you're right, Jet. You're right, Jet.
It was dumb, but that stuff happens, especially at this game. I mean, if there's any rivalry for fights to break out in the stadium and just all-out brawl, Malice in the Palace style, it's this one.
And you think the players are going to eventually one day just crack?
Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
100%.
Especially with Michigan being on the end of a brawl already with Michigan State. It wasn't even a brawl. They just got jumped. So I think if someone tries to even test them again, it'll like just escalate beyond belief. And I do think that it being in Ohio, every time it's in Ohio, the brawl chances are a little bit more. Just because, let's be honest.
It's Ohio.
Yes.
It's expected. It's a hockey game on grass.
Yeah.
Expect tempers to flare. There was going to be maybe a punch or two thrown.
How many times can these two teams play and will it ever kind of dwindle?
No.
I just don't think it will either.
No, not this one. I don't know. We've seen a lot of rivalries dwindle. I feel like Tennessee-Florida's kind of dwindled.
It has. I mean, there's still the animosity, I
They
guess.
had the
but
Checker Neyland, the very first one, and that was cool. And then after that, I feel like it's super dwindled.
Yeah. Let's real quick. We need to go to the phone lines. Go to Clay in Nashville. Clay, give me a good minute here.
Zach, how are you?
Doing good, buddy.
Bruno, it's Tennessee week, brother.
Yes, it is.
Give me your fondest memory of playing Tennessee.
My fondest memory of playing Tennessee. My freshman year, I played Neyland for the first time, tore my PCL, so that doesn't count.
That's not a fond one. That's like a hurtful one.
My junior year, they had Jared Garantano on the worst record ever, and we were in Neyland playing in front of probably 8,000 people in that stadium that fills 100,000, so that was pretty boring. And we
But
wiped them.
not many people could say they've done that.
Yeah, and I got SEC Player of the Week that week, so that was cool. 2018 Tennessee week, that was senior day. Got to be with my family, and we dominated. Kyle Sherman was like 12 for 12 for like 200 yards in the first quarter. That was insane. So we kind of coasted that one. It was expected of us. 2016 feels like 2016 on this one. 2016 one will probably always be my favorite. The entire thing. At the start of that season, I was benched for. I'm starting to like become more honest. That was the reason I got benched was stupid. The guy who was playing in front of me was nowhere near as good as me. I eventually win my start back. We go to a bowl game for the first time since Franklin. The Vols, all they had to do was beat us. They go to Sugar Bowl. They had Dobbs, Kamara.
A bunch of NFL talent.
They had a ton of NFL talent. And we beat them. We beat them after getting down. They started scoring a lot with that high-powered offense. And I just got to look at Butch Jones 10 feet away from me after one of the touchdowns, and I was like, this meant something to me, you know?
Yeah. That's the Clay, I appreciate the call. That's the video. I've already seen people, the Ralph Webb touchdown. That
that was 2017.
Was that 2017?
Yeah.
Well, I see you in the end zone and everything, and because it's Tennessee, I've already seen a couple of videos getting shared about that kind of stuff right now. Yeah.
No, I'll be in a lot of those videos because Tennessee fans, it sucks to be you when you like banter with me on this game because you could win the game, but I just have a different experience. I'm a fan of Vanderbilt, so if you win the game this weekend, you technically have some trash to talk, but I played my best football against the Volunteers.
Oh, Bruno's already got in his Twitter drafts ready to go the SEC Player of the Week right there against Tennessee. He's got that graphic ready to go at all times in the pocket, so it will be fired off probably 3 times at minimum this Friday. This Saturday.
Yeah. Well, it sucks too because this Saturday I'm moving into a new apartment. I have no idea how long that's going to take. Like it could be an all day affair or whatever. And they want me to go like hang out at the tailgate. I gave my ticket away, so I'll be watching it from a location with family and friends. But so I have to go to that and move in for a little bit. And I'm not missing out because the guy who invited me was Scott, who was on the Listener League last year, and they make crazy ribs. So
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not missing
Shout out Scott. When we come back, we're going to talk about Vanderbilt. Aria Gerson of the Tennesseans going to join us, talk a little bit about the win last week against Florida, and then also talk about what Clark Lee had in his press conference earlier today, and then talk about Tennessee. A whole lot happening today. Want you to get in if you can. 615-844-5600. Back after this here on the Afternoon Stretch.
Good afternoon. It's just busy out here. Lots of radar, especially 24 through Rutherford County, Murfreesboro area this afternoon, all the way into Coffee County. It's busy also out 40 East as we check it out live at 840 out here in Wilson County. All that traffic trying to get past Lebanon. It's been a challenge the last few minutes, or should I say heavy traffic, 65 south down into Spring Hill. That's really started to slow down through that section of Williamson County. Princess Hot Chicken can help you this holiday season with catering. Check out the menu at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Football fans, make this a Thanksgiving to remember with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because when you bet an NFL same-game parlay from now through November 28th, all customers can get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose. Just bet an NFL same-game parlay or same-game parlay plus of at least $20. The bigger you bet, the more you'll get back in free bets. NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a larger payday. Build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose, when you bet an NFL same-game parlay of 4 legs or more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 up and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789. Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Austin Hardy is your go-to agent in the Middle Tennessee community for the service you desire at the price you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Austin Hardy has you covered. Call 615-810-9999 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Tired of the same old company holiday party and looking to reward your team with a fun night out? What about something different for a birthday party or group gathering? Hello, this is Philip Cox of Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, and we specialize in group events no matter the size at our Tusculum, Donaldson, Hermitage, Murfreesboro, and Hendersonville locations. Plus, Hendersonville and Murfreesboro offer enhanced entertainment options with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. 'Tis the season to have fun with family, friends, and business associates, and there's no better place to do it than at Strike and Spare Family Fun Center. Visit strikeandspare.com to learn about the group outing option. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive national sports radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. For this afternoon, we'll have sunny skies, a high 58. A clear night tonight, low 32. Wednesday, mostly sunny, high 62. Thanksgiving Day, clouds and a stray shower, high 64. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Renaud.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
Vandy's going to look gold. Coming out in all gold uniform.
Well, they haven't officially announced it yet.
The Equipment Locker Room Twitter account put out all gold. I mean, it's not official. I'm sorry. I'm looking on Twitter's things, but is that dangerous?
As the journalist here between the two of us, you
I'll give that to you.
You just don't have you don't have enough credibility.
Oh, yeah?
You give that to me?
Yeah, no, I'll give you the credibility when it comes to Vanderbilt. Sure, I will. Why not?
They'll probably come out in all golds. You just have to.
Why would they tweet that?
Why? If you're looking at the video feed, why? Why would Utah tweet a picture?
Yeah. Let's go to the hotline now, 615-844-5600. Our weekly hit, typically on Wednesdays, but we're doing it on Tuesday today due to the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. Aria Gerson. She covers Vanderbilt for the Tennessean. You can follow her on Twitter at Aria_Gerson. Aria, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Did you hear anything about these all-gold uniforms, or am I being a bad journalist by saying that without verifiable proof?
I haven't heard anything specific. There's just the tweet that was hinting at something gold related. I don't know if it's uniforms or not.
Okay. I guess I'm unverifiable. I need to take away my verified badge on Twitter, which will never happen. My credit card's linked up to my account, Aria, so it'll stay there forever. So let's talk a little bit about Vandy football and their big win at home last week against the Florida Gators. That one, you know, I made a joke to Bruno. We had Clark on yesterday. I made a joke to Bruno between the segments there, and I said I should just say to Clark, you know, you're being really greedy now. You got 2 back-to-back SEC wins. Like, you did it at home now. I mean, it kind of feels like it's a little much.
I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely turned around the whole narrative of the season for sure.
Do you think that's a little, like, from the inside of a coach's head, you're like, uh-oh, like, we snagged these 2. Now the expectation for next season is going to be, like, even so much higher. Do you think that kind of even enters the mind?
I don't think it really crosses their mind, just because I think the expectations internally for next season are probably already, you know, Clark Lee said this season that their expectation was to make a bowl game. So I think next year, especially given what the schedule looks like, I already think that's where it's going to be. But I think the results are matching up with the expectation being there. So it's not going to sound silly if he goes out and says that, you know, at SEC Media Days next year. Like, people were making fun of him this year for it.
We're talking to Aria Gerson, follow her on Twitter, at Aria_Gerson. This game against Florida, 31-24 win. If you're just looking at the stat lines of it, you see 400 yards passing on Florida's side for 3 touchdowns. That it doesn't seem like it matches up super well with the scoreboard there. But what is it that Vanderbilt did right in this game? Because it didn't seem like this is kind of a different than the Kentucky game. They weren't behind and had to come back. They pretty much had the lead the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a couple of somewhat fluky plays that helped them, the biggest one being the muff punt touchdown. But I also think that the stats can be a little bit misleading because so much of the yardage that Florida put up was at the end of the game, and I think Vanderbilt realized that the clock was on their side there. And so yards that Florida gained in the fourth quarter when Vanderbilt was leading by 2 scores don't really matter as long as they don't get 2 touchdowns before the clock ran out, and they didn't. So I think that Vanderbilt was willing to kind of give up that yardage a little bit as long as they prevented really quick touchdowns to try to get the clock to run out, which I think made the stats look worse than they really were.
Aria, I saw you release the depth chart, and I'm glad you added that note after I retweeted it, too, because it has Mike Wright and A.J. Swan listed as an or for a start, and you have to go with Mike Wright after the last 2 games, right, even if A.J. Swan comes back and healthy?
Yeah, I think that A.J. Swan is trending towards being available. Clark Lee said today he wouldn't commit to using either quarterback, but he kind of said, you know, A.J. is trending towards being available, but he hasn't played in a long time. So there's some question there of just how ready he will be to, you know, start a game when you have another really good option to start a game. So I think just because of the injury concerns, Tennessee is not necessarily the team you want to come out and play against when you're coming back from an injury like that, notwithstanding the other things. So I would probably lean towards it being Mike Wright, but I also, you know, Clark Lee won't give you a definitive answer on that.
I saw you did it. I'm basically using your tweets for you to explain them on the show. So I saw another tweet where you always retweet these advanced analytic kind of things, and I always think it's interesting. It's interesting in one aspect, and it's interesting in the fact that I don't know what half of the stuff is. So, but I did see that Vanderbilt has a 38.54% chance to win the game this weekend, and from just a quick eye view, is that the highest this season? Did it just shift entirely because of this past weekend?
I actually don't think it was necessarily as much because of this past weekend, and more because I'm pretty sure that this stat breakdown that they were doing was adjusting for Hendon Hooker being out, because Joe Milton is not nearly as good as Hendon Hooker. I think it's a very big drop-off there. And so, it's hard to really create a stat that really adjusts for the impact of Joe Milton because he's barely played this season. He's played against, some bad group of 5 teams in garbage time, and that's about it. But I think that definitely just the fact of Hooker being out makes this a lot closer of a matchup than it would be otherwise, notwithstanding that Vanderbilt won its last 2 games. And I think there's also sort of and this isn't going to show up in the analytics, but I think it's fair to wonder, is Vanderbilt going to be the more motivated team here? Because Vanderbilt has more on the line, if you think about it. Vanderbilt is trying to go to a bowl game, and Tennessee has the rivalry, but what they're fighting for at this point is maybe like a spot in the Sugar Bowl or a spot in like the Cotton Bowl or one of those, New Year's Six bowls, as opposed to like the Citrus Bowl, which I don't think is like a huge motivator the same way that wanting to go to any bowl is.
Ari, I think we have a unique, opportunity because you kind of got to watch Joe Milton probably play football more than anyone at Tennessee has this season. He played a little bit, I believe, last year or, a lot, but I think the Tennessee fans weren't out the woodwork yet. So now they've seen him in garbage time. They're like, oh, this guy can play. And a lot of people are kind of betting on him to be the successor. Please tell them why they're in for a disappointment.
Yeah, so I think, again, most of my watching of Joe Milton was 2 years ago when he was starting at Michigan during the 2020 season when they went 2-4. He was benched 2 different times. The first time was because he threw back-to-back interceptions against Wisconsin. And the second time was when they went down 17-0 to Rutgers. And they ended up winning in triple overtime when Cade McNamara took over. And obviously, once Milton transferred to Tennessee, Michigan made the playoffs. And then Milton was a starter at Tennessee for a while. He got benched again. Hooker took over. Tennessee almost made the playoffs. So I think that it's worth noting that all the times he's been benched, ever since someone else has taken over, both teams vastly improved. That being said, there are some things that he does well. He throws really hard. He's got a lot of arm strength. So he is capable of hitting some of those downfield bombs that can be a touchdown in one play. And I think along with Tennessee's tempo, that's something to watch out for. And he can run too, but I just think he's not nearly as accurate as Hendon Hooker was, and he's not as consistent as Hendon Hooker was. And so I think there's an opportunity for more potentially like mistake plays. He was definitely very turnover prone at Michigan, so potentially that there could be some opportunities to grab some turnovers and take advantage of some mistakes there.
Talking with Aria Gerson. She covers Vandy for the Tennessean. You can follow her on Twitter at Aria_Gerson. I've been looking at some of the numbers just with Ray Davis because how impressive has he been? It's just every game he gets over 20 carries. That's when he gets over the 100-yard mark, and you see that's when Vandy has either won the game or been close in games. Do you feel like they are getting to a point where it's just even against Tennessee, and if they get that win and then get into a bowl eligibility, that it's just give the ball to Ray Davis, 20, 25, 30 times and just hope for a good result?
Yeah, I think Ray Davis has definitely been a huge part of what's been working in the offensive line as well. And, it's supposed to rain on Saturday, so if it's raining, I think that's more of an argument for running the ball. That being said, I do think that Vanderbilt will need to have at least somewhat of a functional passing game in order to win the game, just because Tennessee's run defense is a lot better than their pass defense. They're not unlike Vanderbilt in that way, that the best way to beat them is to throw the ball. And so I think they're not going to be able to just try to, run the ball 50 times and win. But I think that certainly the running game will need to be working really well, and Ray Davis will be a huge key to that, and then just throw when they need to.
Clark Lee's press conference was earlier today. Was there any other little nuggets or anything that came out of that conference that kind of perked your ears up?
I mean, I think we already talked about AJ Swan and what's going on there. There's a couple other players that are out, but they've all been out. Xavier Castillo, Ben Cox, Kiva Wesley, and Devin Bodie are all out. They're all hurt. But, I think Clark Lee is he's really trying to hammer home more of the point of trying to get bowl eligible as opposed to the rivalry point. There was not a lot said about Tennessee at the press conference. It was more of the fact that they want to make it to a bowl game. So I think they're not really going to be providing that kind of bulletin board material for Tennessee. That's not really how they operate. But that being said, obviously that doesn't mean that they don't care about the rivalry, because they obviously do a lot. But, I think that possibility for a bowl game is a really big motivator here.
Do you think there's just any – it feels like these last 2 weeks, you mentioned a little bit how, Tennessee may not be playing for much, and Vandy now is playing for more than what Tennessee is arguably playing for now, comparatively wise. But do you feel like there's any kind of just bounce back? Because I feel like right now the Vols faithful you could say they were trying to do the whole checkerboard, the bank, and that kind of fallen through now. And now the game has been sold out officially. I think about an hour ago that got tweeted out, and Vandy fans are really excited to watch this one. Do you feel like there's a little blind optimism in Vanderbilt that they're going to get the win in this one? And the real side of it is we're going to see a Tennessee team that has been good all year kind of just jump back into what they were doing a few weeks, and this is just a blowout game, and it's just kind of right now we're in blind optimistic mode?
I certainly think that a Tennessee blowout is an outcome that wouldn't surprise me, simply because, there's always that when you have a team that loses a game like the way that Tennessee lost to South Carolina, there's really two things that can happen the next week. And one of the things that I already mentioned is they feel like they don't have anything to play for, and they're just totally deflated, and they just totally don't look like the same team anymore. But the other thing that can happen is they just get really, really angry, and they just play better because they're so mad about what happened. And when you add in the rivalry, there's always that possibility that it's an extra motivator for them, and potentially even more.
Oh, I think we just lost Aria right there. That one just.
That's exactly how the world's going to end, by the way, too.
She must have had a hard out because typically 4:40 is when we're going to go to a break, and maybe she saw that and was just like, time to get off.
That would be the most alpha thing anybody could ever do on this show. I wouldn't even be mad. I wanted to ask her opinion on the game.
Yeah, I wanted to ask her on the Name, Image, and Likeness Collective that launched out now.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows about that? I saw they launched one too.
Devlin, try to see if you can grab her back in real quick, just so we can get a closure on the call.
They launched like a name, image, and likeness marketplace like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the only person on there was like Jordan Rogers. He's like $5,000. I'll send you a video. I was like, okay. So who knows? Maybe this one actually helps the student athletes.
Yeah, I'm interested in all of it. And I think a lot of people are interested in that kind of stuff, but they're very interested about Saturday. They're very, very interested about Saturday.
They approach it different than we did, man. They approach it different than we did. We were big on the rivalry. We were big on the gimpy stuff, play the music, and get in. And they seem like no nonsense. Same week, so we'll see.
Aria, we lost you there for just a second. I wanted to ask you one more question, and it was burning, so we had to get you back on. I wanted to get your thoughts on the new NIL collective that is launched out for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, certainly I think it's a good thing that Vanderbilt has an NIL collective. I actually wrote a story that just came out that was talking about some of the lessons that Vanderbilt could maybe learn from what Tennessee has done. And one of those is to kind of come up with a strategic way of using NIL. And I think that means not just having a collective itself, although that's obviously an important part of it, but just the best ways to leverage NIL, because I think there's certain things that you can have access to when you're in Nashville that you're not necessarily going to have access to in other SEC locations, and this collective needs to figure out, how to leverage that in addition to other things, just because it is a smaller alumni base and it is a smaller fan base, so there's not necessarily as much natural access to more people from that standpoint. But I think that if they come up with a strategy for how to generate that NIL, then that could really help. I think that right now most of the exterior NIL deals are going to baseball players, which is fine because they are, probably the best known players on campus. But in order to keep players from transferring and things like that, a lot of them are looking for some NIL money there.
Aria, thank you so much for jumping on with us. I know we got a little technical difficulty in the middle there, but we always appreciate you jumping on and talking with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Aria Gerson, follow her on Twitter at Aria_Gerson, covers Vandy very well for the Tennessean. We got to run to a break. If you want to jump in, 615-844-5600. Back after this here on the Afternoon Stretch.
Good afternoon. It's still pretty slow going now on 40 East, trying to get past the airport there at Donaldson Pike. It's been crazy slow at times over near the airport this afternoon, as you can imagine, with a lot of folks trying to catch a flight out of town. It's heavy but moving on 24 out towards the Jolton area. 24 slow over here, of course, up by the Sullivan Evans Bridge. Lots of radar. 40 out through Wilson into Smith County. Nash Painting Services all in Middle Tennessee. Check them out online at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey, it's Patton Cook from Run With It. Let me tell you about my friends over at Smiles by Design. Dr. Dwayne Jones and his team focus on providing you with personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Smiles by Design are one of the few practices that offer state-of-the-art, needle-free cavity fillings. I started going to Dr. Jones 2 years ago, and he has completely changed my smile. They are located at 105 Threet Industrial Boulevard, Unit 1001 in Smyrna. You can visit their website at drdwaynejones.com for more information, or you can call them at 615-355-1033. Again, their number is 615-355-1033, or you can search for them on social media at Smiles by Design. So be sure the next time you're looking for dentistry services, give my friends over at Smiles by Design a try. And don't forget to tell them Patton sent you.
Hey Nashville, Ray here from Run With It. Let me tell you about our sponsor, Boom Boss Craft Pizza and Tap House. And with 4 locations in Bellevue, Murfreesboro, Spring Hill, and East Nashville, they're your home for the best gourmet pizza and craft beers in Music City. Join me on Monday nights at the East Nashville location for poker night. And if you think you know everything, try Wednesday night trivia at both locations. Gourmet pizzas, craft beers, online at boombozz.com. Boom Boss Craft Pizza and Tap House.
Get all your NASCAR news every weekday right here on the Final Lap. Hey, it's Kerry Murphy, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. did some racing over the weekend. His race team has some crew chief shakeups. We've got Joey Logano, we've got NASCAR Steve Phelps, and more. So grab all the latest NASCAR news, driver interviews, stats, and info every single weekday right here.
Hi, I'm Joey Logano, and you're listening to The Final Lap with Kerry Murphy.
And, of course, check us out at facebook.com/The Final Lap. Every single weekday right here.
The Afternoon Stretch. The best show? I don't know if I can say that, man. I'm going to move on to the next one.
The Afternoon Stretch. Bruno Reagan. Devlin McKenzie. Zach Williams. That's me. I always wonder if people think I'm accidentally saying Bruno Reagan as like me first, but I'm being cordial and putting myself last as the one talking.
Good for you being cordial. I don't care. You can say whatever you want.
You ever had Little Debbie's cordials?
No.
Oh.
I do love Little Debbie stuff, though.
It's Christmas time, so they're about to come back out. Cherry cordials, they're like the chocolate. They're like it's like not cookie. It's like 2 cake tops, but they're dipped in chocolate, and then they have the cherry cream in the middle. Oh.
Listen, I've been watching what I've been eating.
I'll slap you in the face for one of those.
The second I start training like twice a day again, all discipline of diet goes out the window. So
So you're going to have some cherry cordials.
I'll be having a lot.
I might bring a box in just for all of us to have live on air. Just crinkly and
be careful. I'll eat that whole thing.
I don't blame you. If they actually make it through Nashville traffic with me sitting in the car alone with them, you know what I mean? It's one of those things.
I hate hindsight. One of the worst. I wish whatever higher power that allowed for our existence and our sentience to be here didn't allow that ability, because I was foaming out the mouth. I was like, Brandon Ayuk first touchdown. But I didn't tell anybody, so now I can't verify it. But I had a feeling, didn't bet it.
Here we are.
It should have been. It should have been me. Also, next week, the way Treylon Burks kind of came back off of injury, didn't do much, and then had his blow-up game. I think that's Kadarius Toney too. So something to keep in mind.
I'm ready to drop Kadarius Toney, which means he's probably going to blow up.
Yeah.
That's the real side.
Well, go
of
ahead
it.
and do that now, I can prepare.
So Mike Vrabel spoke a little bit earlier today and spoke about what they're going to be doing with Todd Downing. Going forward, Todd Downing will continue as the OC, but that situation is still malleable versus on how the NFL handles it and how local law handles it, all these kind of things. Let's listen to a little bit of his presser from earlier today.
Now those things could change. I want to make sure that everybody understands that at any point in time when we hear from the league or, that, with the legal process, those things could obviously change. I want to make sure that. And again, I appreciate that. I do. I think it's my experience, the organization's experience, that we'll just wait for everything to play out. And then, obviously, if the decisions that we make require us to be held accountable, we'll absolutely do that. Our entire focus now has got to be on Cincinnati. That's what I told the team. That's what I expressed. And I'm confident that we'll do that.
So the way you phrased that, I think maybe you said if the decisions we make require us to be held accountable, you don't feel the decisions that you've made require you to be held accountable?
I think that, again, our focus is on Cincinnati. We understand that, there's things outside of football that we have to deal with. And certainly in this case that we'll have to do that. So this is the decision. This is where we're at right now. And that could obviously change.
What's plan B if there is a change, Mike?
Well, right now I'm just focused on Cincinnati, and we've got a bunch of people in place. So, our full focus has to be on Cincinnati. They've won four of their last 5 games. Listen to them talk. This is right where they were last year, and this is really when they started to take off. So we'll have to do the same thing. We'll have to try to continue to improve.
How much of a playoff game, maybe what you knew about them back in January, helped you in preparation for this one?
This is not a revenge game. More than half of our team didn't even play in that game. But I think trying to have some familiarity with who they are, have a lot of respect for them, obviously in all 3 phases. So that might help, Jim. There may be some carryover. I'm sure they're still going to try to get the ball to their elite skill players and whoever those may be based on availability. Defensively, they're going to make it tough for you, and very, very good front and aggressive secondary.
Well, Ryan, he said, Tannehill said this game, last year put him in a dark place. He wanted to attack this year with a new desire for winning. How have you seen him just kind of bounce back from that downtime after losing that game? As a group, you guys lost, but how has he bounced back?
Well, I think that would be best for Ryan to talk through. I think that, coming off the last week's game, we have to try to continue to do that. You can see that when we give him time and, we're available. He was very accurate, so I think it was a good case of a lot of things coming together. His decision-making, our protection, and guys being where they need to be. So that'll obviously have to continue. We'll see how that goes against the Bengals.
Along those lines, do you feel like you've seen anything from your perspective, just in dealing with them this year as opposed to
mental recovery is a big thing for all of us. Right. Our ability to handle things positively and unfortunately, negatively that happened to us. So our ability to try to keep things into perspective and make sure we understand where we are right now.
Interesting to hear him say the revenge game. He doesn't feel like it's any kind of revenge game. I mean, yeah, maybe half the team wasn't there, but Derrick Henry's there, Ryan Tannehill's there. I mean, there's plenty of guys. Jeffrey Simmons is there. There's plenty of guys that returned from that squad last year that have to feel something about this game against the Bengals.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
No.
You can't be happy with the outcome what happened. If you're Ryan Tannehill, you're either trying to make amends or you're trying to forget, and one of those is going to be better than the other.
I feel like it's just super cement. It's just hard to explain to people where players' brains are at in this point in the season. It is, oh my God, everything hurts. It's all coming downhill. If I wasn't getting paid at minimum $16K after taxes a week, I would jump off a building. They're not thinking about Bengals revenge game. They're like, oh, I got to get through meetings, and then I can go home and play Warzone 2, which is now released.
If it was – okay, let me say it from this perspective. As growing up a Titans fan and a media member now covering them, they better damn well have that in their head. You can't – you have the Bengals who came in and took your Super Bowl away. They took it all away last year, right here at home in Nashville. And guess where they're coming back? Right here at home in Nashville. You better have them coming back. You better be ready for war. You better beat them. If they lose again in terrible fashion to the Bengals, I'm going to be upset.
No, you have a right to be. And I think that exemplifies it perfectly. The fans will all feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
There might be 2 players that feel that way. And that's just the reality of it.
That might be. We need to run to a break. If you want to jump in, 615-844-5600. Let us know if you would be upset if they didn't come in with that kind of mentality. After this, here on the Afternoon Stretch.
Starting a little bit heavier here in the last few minutes on 40 East at 840 out in the Wilson County area. Lots of radar out through there, at least it was earlier. Moving around 40 westbound. It's going to be near Highway 70 and McCrory Lane. That's been in pretty good shape, actually, headed out in that area all afternoon long. Lots of radar on 40 through parts of Dixon and, of course, out in Wilson County also. Hey, Nash Painting is servicing all of Middle Tennessee. Check them out online, nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Joey Logano takes us through his mindset from a Cup Series rookie to becoming a 2-time Cup Series champion.
I'm no different than anybody else. As you get older, your perspective on life changes, right? When you're a kid, you take all the risk with no consequences. You don't think twice about anything. As you get older, you start to, realize that what really matters in life, a lot more serious, in everything you do, and more just intentional about everything you do and why you do it and the things you say. And I make sure that I'm gonna have to talk with Hudson and Jameson and Amelia one day about your dad screwed up a lot and it's all on TV now. When you're going through YouTube, don't do that, okay? That's not the right way to do it. But I think being honest with them is important. But something that it's as you get older, you start to just think through things differently, and you become better. I feel like I've never been a better race car driver than I am today. I've never been more committed about it, even with more, I don't want to call it distractions, but more things going on in my life. I've never had more going on in my life than I do right now, with 3 crazy kids at home and other businesses and just this stuff, right? And to be able to juggle all that and prioritize all that has been the difference for me. And I honestly feel like all of it's made me a better person altogether. Long ways to go, though. I'm not there yet. I can promise you that.
This is the final lap.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-838-4715 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-838-4715. That's 800-838-4715. What do you have to lose? Call 800-838-4715. Again, 800-838-4715.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
The afternoon stretch. Eventually, they'll have music beds for men.
The afternoon stretch. Bruno, Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. If you want to get involved, we want to hear from you. 615-844-5600. Jump in on the phone lines. First hour coming to a close. Got a second hour coming up. And, hey, going to be our NFL Week 12 picks because Devlin will not be here tomorrow.
Forgot about that. Devlin already. That's why you were laughing so hard. I didn't know that. You were already clocked out.
What?
Hey, Devlin. Lucky you. I'm trying to get like you, bro. For real.
I'm going to Ohio.
No, you don't want to be like that, Bruno.
The worst part is I make these jokes, and what happens if I just get the flu tomorrow morning, you know? And you're not going to believe me.
Yeah, 100%. And then I'm going to send my people after you.
No, Clarksville's too far for you to even send your people.
No, my people are already in Clarksville.
Your people are just like,
I have people everywhere.
Drive. You don't have more people in Clarksville.
I'm like that guy I can never remember his name is on Game of Thrones.
What?
The spider. I never remember his name.
Varys.
Yeah. I never remember his name.
Also, Saudi
58
Arabia,
minutes, by the way.
Saudi Arabia beat Argentina, so I wonder how much that money they got in the World Cup. I mean, just straight up, that had to have been pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
Please,
Do
give it to
not
me.
be loud. Do not be loud at this football match. That's a rule that's there. It's a boring one. First hour's done. Second hour coming up. Hey, in the second hour, 5:40, we're going to have Alex Darty jumping on. Talk some Preds with him. That's going to be fun. Covers them for the A to Z Sports. Whole lot going on, but remember, you can jump in. 615-844-5600. First hour done. Second hour's coming right back.
ABC News. I'm Derek Dennis. The Navy confirms one of the victims injured in Saturday's mass shooting at a club in Colorado Springs was Navy sailor Thomas James. Navy officials say he also helped subdue the shooter, along with Army veteran Richard Fierro, who says his military training kicked in when gunfire began. 5 people were killed. New details in the investigation into the stabbing murders of 4 University of Idaho students earlier this month. Idaho State Police spokesperson Aaron Schell confirms to ABC's Kana Whitworth they are looking into reports one of the victims had been stalked for months.
Detectives are aware of this information, and we are looking into this to make sure that we have a complete picture, rule anybody in or out of this investigation.
Investigators are waiting for DNA test results in the case. White House health officials are rolling out a 6-week campaign urging Americans to get the updated COVID booster shots. This is ABC News.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older, 52,
36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor
about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
From the big game to the big dance, Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is your game day and watch party headquarters. Don't worry about entertaining guests and trying to feed everyone. Sit back, relax, cheer on your team, and let the Bar Line staff take care of you. Grab a Bar Line signature cocktail and enjoy some wicked deviled eggs or a Bar Line's double stack, and finish it off with some Jack and Coke chocolate cake. Bust your belly and your bracket at Bar Lines, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown. Get a taste of the tropics without ever leaving Nashville at Hawaiian Izakaya. The Heart, voted to have the best creative cocktails in Music City. Located inside Bento Living Chestnut Hill, The Heart is open for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and drinks Tuesday through Sunday, plus brunch on the weekends. Expect fresh, locally sourced shareable plates, poke, yakitori, handcrafted cocktails, and aloha vibe. Visit theheartnashville.com to view the menu and make a reservation today.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
You know what the Mets stand for?
Metropolitan.
Yeah, that one.
Metropolitan is a flavor of ice cream, right?
Neapolitan.
Oh, okay.
Was that real?
I mean, half and half.
Oh, man. You talk about throwing me off complete. My equator is gone.
The afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Okay, it's happening.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Everybody stay calm. Stay calm.
Let's take some calls from the public, shall we?
Join the afternoon stretch now on the Cure Hotline. 615-844-5600. Now here's Bruno and Zach.
Second hour of the afternoon stretch here on Nashville Sports Radio. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here with you inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. I hope everybody's doing well here now in the 5 o'clock hour. If you want to get in, we want to talk to you. 615-844-5600. Later on in the show, we're going to have Alex Daugherty. He's going to join us at 5:40 from A to Z Sports. We're going to be talking Preds with him. And then later on the station, after we're done, 6:30, we're going to start our broadcast of the Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Sacramento Kings. Easily the most forgettable sports franchise in all of sports.
I'm trying to think of a better one, but it's hard because if they're forgettable, you're not going to remember, right?
Yeah. Sacramento Kings have always been so forgettable to me.
Early season basketball just doesn't even count as like a thing people talk about too. Like
It don't hit the same.
No, there's preseason basketball, there's first 10 games basketball, and then we don't talk about it until like the 2 weeks before the playoff. And maybe that's just us. I don't know, but I've come to appreciate basketball, and it's just like there's not much to talk about other than like Ja getting hurt or something.
Well, Ja, and of course, week to week on that one with Ja, but I feel the same way.
Back on Bruno's point with the NBA early season not really meaning much, it's tough because before they changed the schedule up completely, the Christmas Day games were something I looked forward to so much over even just Christmas in general. I loved Christmas Day basketball games almost more than I loved Thanksgiving Day football, just because of how much those games meant back when the Cavs would play the Warriors and LeBron was there. And
what happened, Devlin?
That everything changed. Season changed. COVID happened. That's what you're looking for.
Oh, I'll tell you what happened.
Mm-hmm.
NFL now plays on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's the real answer.
It's gone.
That used to be NBA was the only one. NFL never played on Christmas. And now they play on Christmas. Because, that started a few years ago. I may have started actually last year. Don't quote me on that. I believe it was either maybe 2 years ago, Saints and Vikings, or whichever one was the first one. But they didn't regularly play. It was only NBA Christmas games. Remember they had those crappy jerseys. They were the worst jerseys, but they had that amazing commercial where they were all shooting threes.
Yeah.
And it was playing Jingle Bells and all that kind of stuff. Like, that was so fun. Yeah. And that always kind of felt like the real kickoff to basketball season.
Right. It was because it was so late into the season, and you were getting into, like, the best matchups, the playoff matchups, essentially, and it was just really exciting to watch. Now, there's still good games, but obviously with the football playing, but being so early in the season, people don't care as much about it, I think.
Yeah. No, I think you're right on that. I mean, unless you're in the town, it's a lot like baseball and in that idea of regionalism. You know, if Tennessee's a little weird, Nashville's a little weird because you have so many different regions that kind of invade into one area. But, for the most part, you're not going to care about, if you're in Arizona, you're not going to care anything about what's going on with the Kansas City Royals. You're going to care about what's going on with Diamondbacks. That's just kind of how it is. So for basketball, we care about Memphis here, but I think there's still a strong contingent of people in Nashville that would say, they don't even follow Memphis Grizzlies because it's Memphis. It's just all the way over there. But I disagree with that notion.
You should all follow the Showboats, though. We're going to be going crazy over there.
Memphis Showboats. Who were they with again?
USFL.
Oh, yeah.
No, I forgot to.
Still love the colors that they chose on that one.
Oh, absolutely.
Sacramento Kings, though, definitely the most forgettable team.
I'm going to be trained up. I'm going to look so good in those uniforms. It's going to be crazy. If I don't get cut before the season.
Well, yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen.
Always possible.
Always possible. I mean, hey, Darrell Henderson just got cut.
Hey, I know. That's part of it.
That guy's
Melvin
in the
Gordon,
middle of the
Darrell
season.
Henderson. And it's not a good sign, too, that, I could talk to some people on the team and, the GM, but I can't get a hold of my head coach. So when we get there.
I have a feeling no one can get a hold of him.
No, yeah. They can, but it's like the cooler guys.
But, yeah, Sacramento Kings. I'm trying to think. Any other team that is the most forgettable team in sports franchises out of basketball, baseball, football? I got to say it's got to be Sacramento. I can't think. I'm trying to think of any other one, maybe in baseball, but it's not. It's just not crossing. It's not crossing the paths right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sacramento. They do nothing. They get nothing.
I don't know what it was for me.
They have nothing.
I heard I instantly thought White Sox, and I was like, "That's."
But see, they're Chicago. You know what I mean?
But
so
they're
it's
buried under the Cubs.
If you're a Southie.
No, yeah, I know.
If you're a Southie, then
a lot of people just got upset if they would hear that. But you're not.
And they've been relatively good too.
No,
they've
absolutely.
at least been. So that's where it's but Sacramento, they're never good.
But it's like the Cowboys, and if you put the Los Angeles Rams, were just we're moving to Dallas. The Rams were good, but no one's gonna care. The Cowboys is number one team in the world, right?
Yeah. America's team. Let's talk some NFL football. Week 12 picks coming in at you red, boiling hot today. We have to go and look at what we did this past week, and I got to say, good week for, do we know who?
You.
Devlin. Good week for Devlin.
What?
Devlin tops the leaderboards this week. I know, against all behest, I don't think anybody saw this coming. Devlin, 10-4 this week.
Let's go. No one saw this coming. This is fantastic.
Nobody saw it. Not even Devlin didn't see this coming.
I was leaning back in my chair pointing at Zach. I had no idea.
You thought I was. You thought I was going to take a moment to be selfish, but I didn't and wasn't, and I was going to give you props. Do you know who came in second?
You.
Bruno.
I thought I had a bad week.
No, not a great week. Me and you, we were one game off of each other, but not a great week, not a bad week. You went 9-5. I went 8-6.
And I made some crazy calls like Browns over Bills.
Devlin just started hitting the mark, man. It was just chink, chink, chink all the way down. I was very surprised. Congratulations, Devlin. You should feel very good about yourself right now.
Comeback season.
I will say that the leaderboard still remains the same. I'm 98-66, top of the leaderboard. Bruno is 5 games back, 93-71. Devlin, after getting, now has a little, he had a nose above water where he can still breathe. Now he's got at least a full face and maybe some neck where he's feeling good. Now it just looks like he's swimming, It looks like he's just moving out there.
Not treading water is bad, but
yeah,
still are.
85-79, so you got some room.
I'll take that.
Got some room now. But it all can change very quickly. Thursday night football, it's going to be Thanksgiving football. 3 games on tap. All started with the Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions, a double home game, if you will, in this one. 9.5 point on the spread. We should just this is getting to 10. I understand we don't do this, but this is going to end up at 10.
No, it's not a spread game, so you don't get to pick the spread.
54.5 point over under. They're expecting 1 million points in this game.
I don't care. I don't care what you guys have to say. I don't care what the people think about me. I missed my shot last weekend, but as someone who had the Giants as my lock of the week last week, I got to watch the Lions play. They've been on a three-game winning streak tear. And the Bills are trending downward. I'm taking the Lions. I don't care. I'm taking the Lions. Go for it. No, yeah, laugh, look around, snicker like little girls, because the Lions are going to take it on Thanksgiving Day and reclaim their honor.
I feel like the Lions always lose on Thanksgiving Day.
They do.
They wear those stupid uniforms, too.
Bills.
Yeah. I mean, duh, Devlin, right?
All right, yep. Go ahead, Zach.
This feels like one of those.
I'm actually going to, start winning this week. It's going to be crazy.
You did good last week.
This week's going to be even better.
The next game I'm all on the Bills on this one. The one, just winning a game without even their best asset. That's the real thing. I don't think they're trending downward at all. They just didn't need to even throw with Josh Allen. They were running the ball. Devin Singletary, what's happened with that? He's just kind of taken off all of a sudden and been really good for the Buffalo Bills and really they got rid of Zach Moss. And they were like, yeah, we'll just now use Devin Singletary, who's a really good running back.
And Josh Allen deserves some criticism. This guy has all the talent in the world. Near Patrick Mahomes level talent, but he plays like Patrick Mahomes, where he had those first four games last season where he played bad, but he's consistent. Josh Allen's not nearly as consistent. That's a problem. He deserves some criticism for that.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes though was freakily consistent.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like,
and that's who.
How do you do that?
That's who he's going to always be compared to. So you just got to, bite that bullet.
New York Giants, they will be the next game with the Dallas Cowboys. That'll be the midday game? Yeah, that's the midday game. Giants, 9.5-point spread in this one. They are the underdogs, 48.5-point over-under.
The Giants still struggle offensively, and they're going to play one of the best defenses in the NFL, so good luck. And Dak is playing better. Dak's playing a lot better.
Dak's playing really good.
Dak's playing a lot better. I knew it. God, I love Dak.
It's because I used him the very first week he came back on fantasy, and then he sucked, and I got rid of him. And that's what it is. You're welcome, Dak.
Dak anchors my teams, man, and he has never done me wrong in the long run, so going Cowboys.
This is always a fun one. Devlin.
Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, you're taking the Giants no matter what. Let me ask you this. Are you taking the Giants in the points at all?
That if we were at 10, I would seriously consider the Giants because just their style of play. I would go Cowboys even on the points.
Even on the points, huh?
Yeah.
I'll be taking the Cowboys as well at home. Thanksgiving Day just kind of feels like it's all in the cards, and they're just playing really, really hot football right now. I'm not crowning them the best in the NFC, though. A lot of people are. I'm not doing it. New England Patriots at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings licking their wounds from the aforementioned Dallas Cowboys. -2.5 points. The spread on this one, the home team, the Vikings, will be the favorites. 42.5-point over-under.
This is, early sneak peek for tomorrow. This is going to be my lock of the week. This is going to be my lock of the week. Patriots plus 2.5.
Your Austin Hardy State Farm keeping a safe pick?
It will be. And for the sake of our picks, I'll pick them on the money line to win, too, for the sake of our picks this week. I think the Patriots, they have one of the best defenses in the National Football League, and they are going to play against primetime Kirk Cousins. They're about to feast.
The biggest primetime game, honestly, outside of the playoffs and Super Bowl.
Kirk Cousins is going to just melt from anxiety. He's going to turn into a puddle. You know that one superhero that turns into just...
Or that Capri Sun commercial back in the mid-90s?
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, he turns into it and they're like, whoa.
That's what I was thinking of.
God, I got to watch that now. I got to go find that.
No, I love the Patriots in this one.
Devlin.
Patriots as well. I mean, you can't bet on primetime Kirk. Can't bet on primetime Andy Dalton. It's just one of those things.
And it's weird because the Patriots are still low-key juggling this whole Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi thing. It's in the conversations could Bailey play? So it's not like their offense is doing exceptionally well or anyone's separating, but their defense is playing at such a high level. They're just getting it done. I don't know if you guys have seen the North Stand. We talked about it. There's a serious chance the Bills don't make playoff.
Yeah, no, this is the real world of it. They lose to the Detroit Lions. They're really screwed. I will say this.
Please.
I love the Patriots defense. They're so good. The offense is terrible right now. Their offense sucks.
Grit game. They had that grit game.
What was the final of that one? It was
13-3.
13-3. They won on the backs of a defensive play.
Or no, excuse me. It was 10-3 because it was 3-3 up until the very last play. You were saying.
Yeah. So very last play ended up being the blocked kick or whatever.
It was a punt return.
Punt return. That's what it is. Yeah. Special teams ended up getting it. It was a big game for the defense. I think that talks more about the Jets' problems right now, but I do think the offense sucks. And I'm going to take Kirk Cousins. I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings in this one. I know that's crazy. I battled with this myself.
Crazy. It is crazy because we always have this discussion.
I'm battling with myself. I'm not saying y'all are dumb in this one, though.
Yeah.
I like their defense. Their defense is amazing. Bill Belichick figures that out.
I just believe so wholeheartedly on Kirk Cousins, noon, prime time. It's real. There's a reason it's a meme, because it's real. So just like acting like it's just going to go away.
I don't think it's going to go away. I don't think he's going to play great. I think they're going to play enough offense to – they have a better offense than New England has better defense.
They do. It will not matter when Kirk turns the ball over 3 times in the first half.
I think Dalvin Cook's going to have a monster game. That's where I'm going with it. I think Dalvin Cook has a monster game. And it's going to be forced on the Patriots. Yeah, their defense is going to be good, but they're just not going to be able to score enough points to keep up with the Minnesota Vikings. That's what I think is going to happen here. That's my thought on it. But I will say this: I could be wrong easily on this one, and we'll see. But I think we're going to see a little different Vikings team than what we saw against the Cowboys. Baltimore at Jacksonville. Back to Sunday games. This one 4 flat on FanDuel. Code TAS. 4 flat points on this one. Baltimore, the road favorite against Jacksonville, 43.5-point over-under.
Jacksonville's an enigma of a team, man. It feels like they shouldn't be as bad as they are. And a lot of people are, like, optimistic on them. They really are. A lot of people are optimistic on Trevor Lawrence and stuff like that, but I just don't see it. I'm going to take the Ravens and Lamar and Mark Andrews and that whole crew.
Devlin.
Jacksonville off to a hot start and then doing real bad ever since. I'm taking the Ravens.
Yeah, I think we're all in on the Ravens on this one. Would not be shocked, though, if Jaguars at home gets the win in this one. 4-point spread, by the way, is super weird. I don't know why. That just looks and feels weird to me. Denver Broncos at the Carolina Panthers. This one,
2 worst teams in the National Football League.
Sam Darnold, the quarterback. He will be the starter for the Panthers this week.
Baker Mayfield back up.
Redemption season.
I already knew you were going to pick the Panthers.
Oh, no, I'm not. I don't know if I'm picking the Panthers yet, honestly. I'm going to hear both of y'all's thoughts on this. I'm just saying Sam Darnold, redemption season starts here. And it all gets back to my plan that Ryan Tannehill's out and Sam Darnold shows up as a Titans quarterback, for better or for worse.
I know Russ has been absolutely abysmal, but at the end of the day, this was a guy that led a team to a Super Bowl, and that speaks to something: leadership, accountability, play, and that's something Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and P.J. Walker, if they all did the fusion dance, couldn't amount to.
Triple fusion? Has that ever happened?
No.
Okay.
Hey, new concept. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos.
2.5-point favorites on this on the road.
No.
36.5 over under.
Yeah, I'm going to take Denver in this one as well. I mean, I think the one thing the Panthers had going for them was their run game with Foreman, and the Broncos are very good at stopping the run. I think Foreman gets shut down, and Denver wins this game 7-3.
I'm in a redemption mark. I don't know. I am going to go Carolina here. I like Denver's defense. This is almost to me the exact same situation with a much worse offense for Carolina, right? But they have just taken shots to where one game they're up, one game they're down. And I just have a feeling this is going to be an up night. New quarterback, you're going to get that like new quarterback juices going. Sam Darnold's got a ton. I mean, Sam Darnold's playing for his career now. This game, this one singular game is his career. If he comes out and plays terrible, then it's over for him. He won't get signed to any other team. He might be a backup at that. He might be playing in the USFL. But I do believe.
Shot.
You don't think he could play the USFL?
No, he can.
He just won't do it?
Yeah, that's a lot of pride to swallow.
No, I agree.
Going from $20 million man to whatever you're, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm just saying. In that kind of realm, I think I'm going to bet on the athlete and that he shows up. And we just know about the Broncos right now. They've been absolute gutter trash basically all season long on the offensive side. Their defense has been good enough to hold them together, but I do think that they're going to be they're not going to be good enough in this one. So I'm going Carolina in this one. We need to run to a break. Before we go to that break, the world's biggest soccer tournament is back, and FanDuel wants you to get in on the action when America takes the pitch. Because when you bet on Team USA in group play, all customers get free bets back if their bet doesn't win. All tournament long, FanDuel has all your favorite bet types, including some that are exclusive to soccer. Plus, just like any other sport that is, you can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday with a same-game parlay. However you want to play, Be sure to back the red, white, and blue because all customers get free bets back if Team USA doesn't win. Just sign up with our promo code TAS, the afternoon stretch, TAS. If you don't already have an account, make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook in the state of Tennessee. You got to be 21 and up and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet ranging from $5 to $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Good afternoon. Trying to move this wreck over here on 440 westbound at Murphy Road. It wasn't causing too much of a backup. It was actually slower. 440 eastbound at Nolensville Pike. Now it's crawling along on 65 northbound, trying to get up through Madison on into Goodlettsville. Lots of radar from time to time out through parts of Wilson County into Smith County. It's been that way all day long. Princess Hot Chicken can help you this holiday season with catering. Check out the menu at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther.
Before you know it, the holiday season will be upon us, so it's time to start planning. If you're having a holiday party or event this year, then you should consider the Omni Nashville Hotel. Have a festive holiday party for your company, family, or friends at the most luxurious location in Music City. All your guests will experience the award-winning service from their well-trained, courteous staff at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Rooms that are second to none, and venues that will be the envy of all your guests. For smaller gatherings, reserve the private dining room inside Kitchen Notes. For a fun party atmosphere, consider bar lines. And for high-end corporate entertaining, choose Bob's Steakhouse. You can't go wrong when you book your party at the Omni Nashville Hotel. For more information or inquire about availability, just call 615-782-5333. That's 615-782-5333. The Omni Nashville Hotel, Music City's holiday party destination.
NFL Plus is here, which means no matter where you are, this is how you football. You can stream live, local, and primetime regular season games on your phone or tablet, 45-minute game replays, and more.
That's how you do it right there.
This is the NFL for every fan. This is football freedom. This is your game on the go. Wherever you are, this is how you football. Go to plus.nfl.com/radio and start your free trial of NFL Plus today. Terms and conditions apply.
It's a Bill King Show.
If Nick coached another 7-8 years, I would not be shocked at all. I wouldn't be. Now, I'm not predicting it because I don't think you can predict that kind of thing. We don't know that. If he coached to 80, I would not be flabbergasted.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
Call in now to the afternoon stretch, 615-844-5600, and be the most talented person on the show.
The afternoon stretch. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams. Tomorrow's Bruno's Bets. You might want to listen in. That's all you need to know.
You might.
You might want to listen into Bruno's Bets tomorrow.
Why would they say that on the cusp of rivalry week?
Why would they say Bruno's Bets on rivalry week? The toughest thing for me to say, by the way.
We'll do it on the encore. We'll do it tomorrow. But
everybody say rivalry week.
Hold on. Rivalry week.
I have to feel like I have to say it like that too.
Rivalry week. Rivalry week.
Rivalry week. Rivalry week.
Call in if you think you can say rivalry.
Can you say rivalry week? That's how you see how my neck I bulge.
That's
veins
awful.
trying to
I didn't think about this.
I entire life have tried to avoid saying that on air.
Well, we're on air, so it's
rivalry week.
Rivalry week.
Week of rivals.
Week of rivals is so much easier.
It's when you say it in your head, it sounds perfect. Absolutely.
Rivalry week.
Yeah. All right, we need to change that.
I'm going to try to say it 3 times fast. Rivalry week, rivalry week, rivalry week. Oh, I don't know if I can talk the rest of the show. I'm telling you, it's a real challenge. We're continuing with our NFL Week 12 picks. And left off on Denver at Carolina. You two went Denver. I went Carolina. Now Atlanta at Washington. This one, the Falcons on the road will be the underdogs. 4-point underdogs in this one. 41.5 point over under.
Loading up my FanDuel account so I can see my little stats. Sorry.
That's okay. Devlin, you want to start it?
Thank you.
Yeah, I like the Commanders in this one. Chase Young is officially active on the roster. He will be playing this week. Go Buckeyes. I will be betting my money on the Commanders outright.
So my thing with the Commanders has been I pick against them. They win. If they lose, then I get to pick right. It's kind of like a hedging my emotion thing. So I've been betting against them, and I've gotten every pick wrong since. It's like 3 weeks in a row. If I did that, I would be really close to you. But for the sake of the Commanders and their winning streak, I'll pick Falcons so that they just keep fading me.
I am too. I'm taking the Falcons. I think the Falcons are actually going to win this one. Taylor Heineke, he's been really not good, but he's been good for the team.
Yeah.
The stats aren't good. Like, he hasn't been playing quarterback great, but just they ride for him. And I think there's been some ebb and flow. I think it's going to be a close game, but I got the Falcons on the money line. Or sorry, I'm got them on the money line, but I'm 100% on the 4 points. I think this game is going to be very close. And I think Marcus Mariota, they're kind of in the same. They're in the same. People would say Taylor Heineke's played better than Marcus Mariota, and that would just be wildly wrong. He's just played. His team has played better around him than what I think the Falcons have played around around Marcus Mariota. That's just my thoughts on it. But I'm going to go with
Marcus Mariota's. Did you see his falling pass of desperation?
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago. Everybody was like, if Patrick Mahomes did this would be on Madden, like next week. Tampa Bay at Cleveland. Tampa Bay will be the road favorites, 3.5, 42.5 point over under. Does anybody even go to the Browns game the day after y'all's matchup?
The game?
The game?
Yeah.
What else are they going to do?
Okay. I didn't know. I just feel like people would say, I mean, if you win or loss, I mean, people are going to be drinking regardless. So
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, Cleveland Browns.
They really should work in the Cleveland Browns-Detroit game, around that time.
Somehow should make that work. Where are we at on this one? 42.5 point over.
Tampa. You got the GOAT coming in versus the Browns team that's just been – they're just – essentially the season's lost, right? Devlin, is there any hope for the season for you as a Browns fan?
Sure. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
No, we're 3-7, man.
I was
You have Deshaun Watson coming.
Yeah, do you think he could run the table? No.
Massage table.
At least there's like an expectation now that you're not going to make the playoffs, so you can just go through the growing pain. Growing pain.
Deshaun Watson might say he has growing pain.
Deshaun Watson doesn't. Yeah, not his growing pain.
What a terrible person that's getting allowed to play football again.
Yeah,
the NFL commissioner was like, he's a predator. So we're only going to do 11 games. Anyway. Devlin, just go ahead and say you're going to do the Browns.
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns, yeah.
Figured. I'm taking Tampa Bay in this one. Tom Brady and the Bucs are right back in it here. I don't think they have a problem going forward. Cincinnati by the way, did you see? I saw forget his name. He occasionally makes great points on ESPN, but he was talking about how the route for Tom Brady to get back to a Super Bowl.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's going to either see Taylor Heineke, Daniel Jones, Geno Smith. He's like, these are the people that he's going to play, and he's going to be back in another Super Bowl.
He's like, what a coincidence that 18 out of 20 years Tom's been in the NFL, he's in the worst division. What a coincidence.
Cincinnati at the Tennessee Titans here in Nashville. Cincinnati road favorites on this one. 2.5, 42.5 point over under. Zero respect given to the Tennessee Titans here from Vegas.
The Titans and Mike Vrabel are the most boring, most dominant. I mean, if they had regular season championships, the Titans would get it. The Titans would get the fake Lombardi. They would. They might trash the Bengals. I'm serious.
No, Ryan Tannehill might have 5 touchdowns.
38 to 14.
Yeah.
I'm on the Titans heavy on this one. This is like the most confident I felt about the Titans any week.
Devlin.
Who dey?
Oh, my
Who
gosh.
dey?
You're the worst kind of Ohio person.
He's actually way tame. He's extremely tame.
I'm taking the Titans on this one as well. How appalling that Vegas gave in this. This is free money.
Yeah.
Take the money line, take the spread, whatever you want to do. This is free money. The Titans are winning this game. I just don't know. I mean, they're getting back to healthy. And they've been dominant. I mean, every week they're picked as the underdog, and then here we go. They win games. I don't understand how it could just simply happen over and over again. It's like Vegas isn't even watching any of the Titans games. They really aren't. They're just watching what the score ends up being, and they're like, well, okay.
Vegas knows everything. It is what it is, and you have to accept. Well, no, they don't sometimes. I mean, Kansas fanny win totals. But
Yeah, destroyed on those. Let's see. Houston at Miami.
13 points.
13 point is the spread. Miami will be the home team. 46.5 point over under in this one. We're going off spread.
I'm going Miami. Houston's going to be one of those teams that ends up in the discussion, can Georgia beat them, which is a bad place to be as an NFL team.
True. Devlin.
This has to be a system pick here, right? I don't think there's a question Miami covers the spread. I think they won by 28 points.
DBZ, Dragon Ball Z here. I'm taking all Miami. I think we're all going Miami here. I should go the adverse because we've done this before and we're like, oh, yeah, easy. And I need to go through and tally how many of these that we all three been in on and see how many times we've gotten it right or wrong when all three of us are in. Because I feel like it's not great odds. I mean, we were wrong last week. New York Giants. We were wrong on that one. We were all wrong, but we all went on it. So, Chicago at the New York Jets. This one, 4.5 point favorites are the home Jets. 39.5 point over under in this ball game.
Chicago. I'm taking Chicago. I think the Jets. Chicago. Now, also, have you seen the Jets coin? Someone mapped the entire Jets season. This happened before the season, so you want to talk about stishing and AI? This is real. Someone flipped a coin on TikTok and mapped out the Jets' entire season. And to a T, the win-loss has been correct. And it has them predicting, I think 9 wins, and they get to the wild card or something.
You ever feel like that's fake somehow?
No, because people have been following this week to week. Yeah. Google Jets coin. I'm serious.
The original tweet was posted before the season started. It's legit.
Oh, wow.
Jets coin. So I really should go. I don't know how it ends up this week, but I hate Zach Wilson. I saw quarterback ESPN analysis. I was like, this hate on Zach Wilson is so unwarranted. No, it's not. It's the leader of a team, and it's
kind of warranted.
It is super warranted. He sucks. How can you be a former quarterback and the highest profile players on your team are faking likes on tweets dissing him? And
it's the same on the field situation as Taylor Heineke and the Commanders, but the exact opposite of how the team feels about the player.
Yeah, no, and if you don't think that stuff matters, you're in delusion land, which some quarterbacks are, a la Zach Wilson. So when Zach Wilson eventually gets an ESPN job as a quarterback analyst because he can't hack in the National Football League and he doesn't want to go to spring football and learn, so when he has to go to ESPN, he can shill out for the next terrible quarterback to be the quarterback for the Jets. We can circle back to this endless cycle of tomfoolery. But wow, he's awful, Bears.
Devlin.
I'm also taking the Bears in this one.
Oh.
Reason for that, the coin has them losing to the Bears.
Oh.
The coin.
Yep.
The coin. It's not wrong.
My only thought, I'm going the Jets in this one because I just have a feeling Flacco is going to come out as quarterback. Robert Saleh's already talked about it, saying he is not solidified as a quarterback. So, and I think if Flacco's out there, that team plays so much better.
Betting against the coin is insane.
Betting against the coin.
Considering I just learned about the coin 20 seconds ago, I think I'm okay with that.
11 weeks in.
If I'm wrong this week about the coin, I'll regurgitate that, and next week I'm going whatever the coin says, okay? I'm a man who changes.
Do you have the coin up right now, Devlin?
I do.
Where does it say they finish?
So it has them losing in the AFC Championship game.
Okay, come on,
has them going 11-6 in the regular season.
The coin hasn't been wrong yet, Zach. I swear. Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't heard about it.
I'm surprised I haven't heard about this either. Las
Vegas Championship, Zach Wilson.
We got to sprint through now. Right. Las Vegas Raiders at the Seattle Seahawks. 3.5 point favorites are the home Hawks. 47.5 point over.
Come on, Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah, I had a feeling we were all going that one. I like it. The Raiders, whatever, but on the road they're not good. Chargers at Cardinals. Cardinals are the home underdog in this one, 47.5 point over-under.
Oh, come on, Chargers. And they're also, they have issues. Chargers have big issues, but I'm still going to take them over the Cardinals. Cardinals are a disaster. Sell the team, fire it, burn Phoenix to the ground, whatever.
Kingsbury, hot seat. I'm taking the Chargers in this one.
I'm going to take the Cardinals. I think Kyler's going to probably be back in this one. That's my assumption on that. And
Warzone 2 came out, so we don't know if he's bored with it yet or not.
He has not played a game since the new Call of Duty came out. How crazy is that? I saw that.
Crazy.
No such thing as coincidence.
No such thing.
No such thing.
Los Angeles Rams at the Kansas City Chiefs. 14.5 point line on this one.
I'm taking the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. Yep, I'm taking the Chiefs. They are going to win 60-0.
Yep, Chiefs.
Oh no, I'm taking the Rams. I'm taking the Rams. Two touchdowns and a half point. I think it goes up too, probably.
Rams are checked out, bro. They
I agree.
No Cooper Kupp either. No solid white guy to be the basher of the team. Not happening.
I look, Chiefs are going to win that game. I'm not worried about that, but I just 2 touchdowns that way. I mean, Chiefs games have been close. They've been somewhat close outside of the few that have been blowouts, I guess, but it's still the NFL, man. Like 2 touchdowns. I'm doing it just for the Rams manhood. That's the only reason why I'm taking them. Let's see here. New Orleans Saints, San Francisco 49ers. 9.5 point favorites are the home 49ers. 43.5 point over under.
Perfect. We get them cheap. Go Niners. That's going to be everybody.
Yep. Yeah, it's got to be. 49ers starting to hit that. Hey, Jimmy Garoppolo looks good too. That throw to Brandon Ayuk, that was not his first. That was his third read on that play, and he did it great. Yeah. Read the pressure, read everything. That was an elite level quarterback play right there.
Again, I'll say I will never give him credit for his ability.
7-point underdogs are the Green Bay Packers against the Philadelphia Eagles on the road for the Pack. 46.5 point over under.
Follow me on this.
Following you.
Run game. The run game. Run game is the Eagles' weakness. Packers have not 1 but 2 good running backs. Give me the Packers.
Go Birds.
Hey, Dirty Birds. I'm with you on that one, Devlin.
Almost lost to Jeff Saturday, by the way.
Almost, which is, hey, Saturday's doing a good job. I think it's one of those win-win for the Gipper kind of feelings that's going on right now. It just feels like it. But I'm going the Eagles right now. They still, even though they almost lost, they still found a way to win that game and come back from it too, which is big. And Green Bay on the road has been poopy. They've just not been good. And Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. Just talked about them. 2.5 point spread on this one. The home Colts will be the favorites. 39.5 point over under in the I Don't Care Bowl.
I think the Colts win simply because they have a better player behind under center. I think Kenny Pickett is a fraud, and I think he'll be out faster than Josh Rosen.
You didn't even say his name right. That's how much you despise that guy.
I think Kenny Pickett will go.
No, sticking with Prickett. I like that.
Kenny Prickett. Who cares? Kenny Hoosavara. Kenny UPS mailman. Hey,
Kenny, UPS, former Macy's worker.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett's going to either be a police officer or he's going to be a UPS man. Which
he's going to go back and be a coach on the Pitt. That's what he's going to do.
And that would be good.
You're making me want to pick him now, just because I want you to read all these words.
Eat these words.
I was just playing into what you were saying.
Yeah,
I didn't think that. Sorry, Kenny.
In the first Monday night game that I don't watch this year, I'm taking the Steelers. NFL young boy George Pickens. I'm expecting him to have 80 to 100 yards. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm taking the Steelers outright.
It's tough. I want to take the Colts so bad.
T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt is a difference maker. That is true.
Fitzpatrick might be back as well.
Minka. I'm taking the Colts. I shouldn't, but they at least played primetime already this year and won.
Yeah, it's a system pick too.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a system pick, but I actually think they're going to win. And like I said, I think there's a win-win for the Gipper kind of feel going on right now. There's something in the air right now that just makes me feel like, hey, they have a shot to win games because of what we're saying, of what everybody was saying beforehand, which was they don't have a shot, and it's the NFL. Just like the Rams, I'm talking about the Rams 14-point spread. I think it is. We got to run to a break. Alex Daugherty of A to Z Sports will be joining us talking about some Preds hockey. Before we go to the break, though, we got to talk about our friends over at Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville. Holidays are here, and you might need some extra cash, but maybe you're wanting to upgrade your equipment. Whatever it is, you can take your gently used equipment that you had before that's still got some life in it and take it over and see my friends over at Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville. Okay, I know how this stuff works because it was actually my first job ever. My first job ever was over there Play It Again Sports in Hendersonville, and it has. I saw how the whole system works, how they take care of you, how they help you find not only the right prices for what you're trying to bring in, but also what you can do to upgrade things. I go in there still for golf gear. I'm always in there looking at new golf clubs or something like that. Go check them out. Play It Again Sports, Brentwood and Hendersonville.
Good afternoon. The moving right here in Brentwood, 65 northbound between Concord Road and OHB. It's just adding to that insanity coming up through that section of Williamson County. Again, I can see a pretty good backup here on 65 northbound near OHB. It was already heavy southbound. All the major outbound routes are running pretty heavy right now. Lots of radar out here throughout the evening and actually for the next 24, 48 hours. Nash Painting Services, all of Middle Tennessee. These guys are awesome. Check out their references and all that at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Football fans, make this Thanksgiving to remember a FanDuel One, America's #1 sport book. Yeah, Thanksgiving is on the way because when you bet an NFL same-game parlay now through November 28th, all customers can get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose. The bigger you bet, the more you get your bet back in free bets. NFL same-game parlays, perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a larger payday. Build your own or choose from the popular SGPs. That's the same-game parlay, SGPs, pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play it, get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose when you play an NFL same-game parlay of 4 legs or more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sporting betting partner of the NFL, and use that promo code GregP, 21 and older, present in Tennessee required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets, expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call the Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7, with supplies and solutions for every industry, and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Steve is intrigued by the paranormal.
Otherworldly spirits really make a house a home, you know?
Janice has different taste.
I'd like my house to not be haunted.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Steve and Janice found a renovated Victorian that's only haunted from 9 to 5.
Okay, wife's home. I gotta bounce.
Bye, Steve.
Bundling without compromise at Geico.com.
Whether it's getting your day started with a clear mind, taking the edge off after a busy day, or hitting the reset button at night, Cure helps us be our most productive selves. Completely organic and free of THC, pesticides, and heavy metals, Cure focuses on specific need states with great tasting CBD products designed to help you focus, chill, and sleep. And that is exactly what the Cure brand products are named. Focus, chill, and sleep. Now available at select MAPCO locations. Visit thecurebrand.com to learn more and follow them on social media.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive national sports radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. For this afternoon, we'll have sunny skies, a high 58. A clear night tonight, low 32. Wednesday, mostly sunny, high 62. Thanksgiving Day, clouds and a stray shower, high 64. Utilizing the resources of the Mother Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Renaud. Sports Radio, WNSR.
The Afternoon Stretch, the show endorsed by News Channel 5's John Burton.
You heard it here. John Burton's favorite show, back on the airwaves.
John Burton. Johnny B.
Johnny B. Johnny Boy.
The B stands for little brother.
Yeah. Which is what that show is to this show. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie. What'd you say?
I said love you, John.
Love you so much. The afternoon stretch. Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studios. Now, always a fun time of the week where we get to bring on best friend of the show, Alex Daugherty of A to Z Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at AlexDaugherty1. Covers the Preds. And, hey, Alex, the Preds are good now in 1 week.
They are. And by the way, this show is also endorsed by Alex Daugherty of A to Z Sports. Just so you want to go ahead and put that out there.
That'll be a new little intro that we'll have. Okay, so we'll get that worked in there. So your boy has just been. I mean,
you called it. Hey, talk your trash right now. You called it.
I did. Juuso Parssinen, 5 points in 5 games. I mean, he has looked really good. He has not been the last couple games. I will say this: he may be kind of slowing down a little bit just in terms of his development. But you cannot deny that the team looks different with that guy in the lineup. I mean, like he looks the part. And when I went and talked to some of the players after one of the first few games and talked to John Hines about it, it seems pretty clear that he's here to stay. I mean, like they're not expecting this guy to be sent back down. He is going to be a part of the lineup moving forward. And he looks, I mean, he's playing big minutes. He's playing huge offensive face-offs, huge defensive face-offs. He's playing on the power play. He even got some overtime minutes. He did have a pretty big mistake in that moment, and that led to a loss. But you know what? I think the kid is going to be here to stay, and I think that's really good for Nashville.
Do you think – I was thinking about this maybe a couple days ago or so, but – talking about some of the NFL games, going to Germany and going to London and just how the fatigue that they have when they go to those games to play, and then not only that, just the comeback part of it where, jet lag, that sort of things. The games in Prague at the start of the season, could that have had any kind of effect on the team? They go to Prague, get the 2 wins, and then it was just a host of losses on the road coming back. Do you think that had any sort of, dulling period to the team that now that they're you could say they're fully past it now and you're seeing a better Preds team? Do you think that had any effect in that situation?
It could, but here's what I'll say. The Colorado Avalanche, they went to Finland earlier in November. They played 2 games in Finland. They came back, and after that, they looked basically the same. They won like 5 games out of 6. So it didn't seem to affect Colorado. And I feel like maybe the Predators were just I think if we look back on it, the initial roster of this team, there were some lineup decisions that really didn't make a lot of sense. And one of those may have been resolved now because today the Predators have waived Zach Sanford. He was one of the guys that they signed in the summer to test out, see how he was doing. Didn't really do much. Same thing happened with Kiefer Sherwood early in the year. These are guys that were on the opening roster at the beginning of the year. They're starting to send those guys back down and maybe get some more skill in the lineup, like Juuso Parssinen. Maybe there's a Philip Tomasino return. He's a good young skilled player that's played pretty well in Milwaukee. So I think it has more to do with the way they rolled out their roster at the beginning of the year with a lot of kind of bottom of the lineup non-skill guys, and really didn't put themselves into a position to get the offense flowing early. If they change that up, I think it doesn't matter where on earth they play. If they change it up and get their offense rolling, they could play all their games in Japan if they want to. They'll look a lot better, and it won't matter any of this travel stuff. So I really don't. I've heard some people talk about that. I really don't think that really was a factor.
Talking with Alex Daugherty of A to Z Sports, covers the Preds there. Follow him on Twitter at AlexDaugherty1. So, these string of wins, there's also a little bit of a, not coincidence, I don't think, in this, but a lot of home games inside of that. Has it just been good to get that string of home games, you think, for this Preds unit?
Yeah, I think probably getting back home made a big difference. That road trip they just went on was pretty miserable. I mean, they gave up a lot of goals. They had lost some games they shouldn't have. It was not pretty. Now, they did win a couple games there, but they got home and really got back to playing solid defense. I think that was kind of what they needed. They get the 2-1 wins against the Rangers and the Wild. They have a kind of a wild, crazy win against the Islanders that was back and forth. That was a pretty exciting game to watch. They lose to Tampa in overtime, but they do get the point, and then they beat Arizona yesterday, in the shootout.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're kind of in battle mode right now. They're kind of ready to roll no matter what the opponent is, and I think that helps their confidence. I mean, they want to play a more tight defensive structure game. So like yesterday was a little bit more open than they want, but I think if their offense gets going and they can stick with their defense the way it's been looking the last few weeks, or last few games rather, they'll be okay moving forward. And they got more home games coming up, including Colorado on Friday.
We were talking about a change of spots and positions when we had you on for the first few weeks. Now that we're at this position where the Preds are having some recent success in hockey, is it just kind of like a ride it out until it doesn't work kind of deal, or what's the outlook for the Preds now from a formation or roster standpoint?
Yeah, so they made a change recently that was kind of an interesting one, and I'm kind of wondering if it's going to stick. The biggest change they made recently was Roman Josi is now playing with Ryan McDonough. If you remember way back, Ryan McDonough was paired with Ekholm, and they were playing on Ekholm was on the right side, and it really just wasn't working. Then they switched Ekholm back and bumped McDonough down. Then they tried this with Josi and McDonough, and I think it looks okay. I think that McDonough and Josi kind of make sense. Josi's kind of playing on his offside, but he's been switching back a lot. Like he basically, whatever the face-off is, Josi's going to be on the side that gives him the chance with the puck. So it's not really about the pairing necessarily when Josi's out there, because he's basically a fourth forward. That's what he is. He can move the puck like a forward. He can shoot like a forward. So he kind of moves differently. And McDonough can be the guy back to prevent the transition plays, to prevent the odd man rushes, that kind of stuff. So that is one that I think will stick. As far as like where in the season, whether they can change, I honestly think they'll be making changes all year long. I mean, whenever things don't work, you give it a few games, and if it's hurting you, you got to change it. You can't just stick it out. The only exception there is if your top guys are not playing well, you can't necessarily bench, a $9-8 million forward. You got to keep playing them. So right now those guys are playing okay, but it's the rest of it is always in flux.
When you get to a point in the regular season where you're getting a collective of wins, not to say that's a great thing, but it can also be a smokescreen where the bad things about a team get hidden. Where can this Preds team still improve, even though they're having some improvements in the record? What can they do on the ice to still improve at this point?
The power play is the biggest thing. They're still bottom 5 in the power play. The power play it's just not getting the results, right? I mean, I think there are times where it looks okay, but I think that's a big one. They could always take a few less penalties, and then I think just overall just following the trend of the game. So they've played a lot of very different games recently. You have the really low scoring games against the Rangers and Wild. They did a really good job of maintaining the defensive structure, staying out of the penalty box, not letting that game get away with it. But then the very next game is the Islanders game where there's a bunch of goals being scored, and they know they have to get up and down the ice, and they were able to adjust. So I think it's just understanding the flow of the game. Is this a wide-open game where there's chances left and right, or is this a hit the closest person to you all the time, get in their face, grind it out in the corners kind of game? Just being aware of what kind of game it is.
Alex Daugherty has been our guest. You can follow him on Twitter at AlexDaugherty1 on A to Z, covers all the things Preds. Alex, thank you so much, and have a good Thanksgiving, man.
Absolutely. Now, wait, are we going to get out of here without talking about the Vanderbilt Commodores? Because, I mean, I am just on cloud 9 over here. I cannot wait for Saturday. And if it happens, Bruno, I mean, we got to have a party or something. Where's this party going to be?
Alex, around the Cold War times, they lost nuclear bombs, but it's me. I'm the lost nuclear bombs. And the trigger is if Vanderbilt can pull off 3 SEC wins in a row, who knows? I'll be in Nashville Saturday, so we might have to figure it out. But, yeah, I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I'll lose it. I might not survive Saturday, win or lose.
Alex,
so we'll see.
You just rev the engine, man. I appreciate you so much,
Absolutely.
buddy. Alex Daugherty, good stuff there. We got to get Alex in studio.
Yeah,
he needs to be in studio. We need to do that. He needs to come hang out with us for a show. We are done for the day. Everybody, thank you for calling in, commenting in, watching in, however you did. We appreciate it. Remember, if nobody's ever told you, I love you and you matter. Have a great one. We have one more show left before the Thanksgiving break.